Hello, all you geeks and degenerates out there, and welcome back. And to everybody who's watching today, grab your Onichan, your big brother or little brother, and show some love because we are doing Brother Bear, a
Yeah.
2003, right?
Yeah.
2003 Disney underrated animated film. Jesus Christ, it was in the same spectrum. Sure, Mulan was kind of popular, but it was in the same spectrum as Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, and now here Brother Bear, and I think Tarzan, because this
Tarzan, Treasure
yes,
Planet,
it's like the same,
Atlantis.
yeah, same studio. Yet I would say this has the one of the best. Not this movie. I mean, this era of Disney has one of the best storytellings to date. I'm sorry, Pixar, but they have the best storytelling. Would they have the best animation? To each their own. But this is like somewhat the one of the last stretches of this studio because they started from like the 1990s
Yeah.
and they're leading up to early 2000s, which they kind of started to die off since Pixar started to get more popular.
Yeah, yeah.
And but yeah, like, did you watch this when you were a kid, or did you like find out about it recently?
Uh, it came in a time where I was obsessed with everything prehistoric. So yes, I watched it in theater with my
Okay.
family. I remember, was it the Burger King or McDonald's Happy Meal where they gave you like a plushie? Like I had a
Ah,
bear and a
there,
bear.
there's there was a McDonald's. I don't know if it was Jollibee or McDonald's. Yes, we're Filipino. Hi.
Hi.
Um, where they would have. I got like the moose. Like
Uh,
I think it was either Rut or Tuck, either one. But they have like an iceberg underneath them. If you all remember those like the Happy Meal toys. But yeah, it was famous, but I don't think it did very well in box office.
no, it didn't because it's not Disney's bread and butter of princesses and you know all that jazz.
Yeah, but that's just so weird because I know we're doing a review on Brother Bear, but I would like to complain. It's so cut and paste with the whole princess story. Sure, they're amazing to their own degree or for their own right, but this movies like this were so complex. You say brotherly or sisterly love was like done recently and they perfected it. I'm sorry. Lilo and Stitch and Brother Bear did that very well back in the day. And and I don't know, you gotta love this studio for what they did, and not a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, and it's surprising since it stars Academy Award winner Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. Ian Phoenix is in this one. Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas. They did their whole Canadian bit thing from SNL. I was
Yeah,
like, as the two Moose brothers, and it was funny. I was
yeah,
like, wow.
and Michael Clark Duncan's here too.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
shit! Right, he was that really big, uh, the really big bear
yeah,
that
yeah,
was like ahead of the salmon run. But yeah, the story's pretty much about a couple of hunters, couple of three brothers who seem to just be having some fun going around in untouched. I'm guessing early America, maybe
yeah.
Canada.
We should say it's set in 10,000 BC.
Yeah, there was mammoths and everything and saber-toothed cats, as he has mentioned, but we did not see in this movie.
Yeah, but like, kind of depressing to see like between the Nahi in this time period and when he's telling the future story, his future self, like the mammoths go extinct. Like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and as we like at first I thought it was Coda who was narrating us. It was about my brother. I was like, oh, it's about Brother Bear. It's about the bear telling the story, and then you find out that it's actually Anahi's telling the story, which
Yeah,
is sorry, Denahi, which is kind of sad at the same time. There were a lot of weird choices, a lot of like I would say out of the norm choices for this movie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. For a 2003 movie. That's why I like this era of Disney where you have a missing family figure like in Treasure Planet. Here you have both family figures gone and you kind of want like brotherly love or sisterly love with Lilo and Stitch and Brother Bear. These are such weird choices back in the day. It was out of the norm. It wasn't cut and paste. and I don't know. I respect that studio for that. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much praising the studio instead of doing the review.
Yeah, but like you meet the three brothers and they're hunting, and Kenai has the ceremony where he's given told him to be a man. And
Hmm.
he's given the bear, and he's like, I don't want to be a bear.
I was like, he wanted to be a saber-toothed cat. I was like, bitch, bears killed saber-toothed cats back in the day. So
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I think it's because of the whole love thing, and this is early, how would you say, early 2000s. So like, oh, being lovey-dovey is considered feminine and not so
yeah,
manly,
yeah.
not like what it is today.
Um,
But yeah, they tend to like make fun of Kenai for that one.
yeah, but he goes after a bear because they stole their catch for the day.
Yeah, because Kenai didn't tie it up properly,
Yeah,
and he hunts down that bear because his brother Danahi pretty much busts his balls over it,
yeah,
which any brother would do or any
mm,
sibling. Kind of an asshole move, but yeah, at the same time,
yeah.
But on his journey there, he tries to get the basket back. He gets mad at the bear for some reason, throws a rock at it. I was like, really? Okay.
Maybe not enough ancestors told him not to do
Wait, so so the entire survival, we're like, we never encountered a bear before.
that.
Rock.
Like, oh,
I
that's
don't know
not
how they
what you
survived
do.
that long. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, the
But yeah,
bear. I don't know what type of bear it is, but it's huge.
it's brown. Brown.
I'm
Bear.
picturing that big. It's like a cave bear.
How would you know? Was it in a cave?
I'm thinking the cave. It's huge. But yeah, they the bear attacks Kenai, and Denai and Sitka come to the rescue, but like obviously they have their hands full because they just have spears and it's a bear.
Yeah, and as this sequence goes on, sad to say, one of the brothers does give his life
Yeah,
to save his two younger brothers. Because one fell into a crevice, the other one tried to help him out,
yeah,
while the bear's like moving towards them.
yeah.
Which was, I don't know, again, pretty adult kind of thing to show kids where a brother sacrifices himself in front of a camera. I was like, wow. I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't get to see Tadashi burn up, but like in Big Hero 6, but like, eh.
Morbid thing to say, but sure. Uh, but yeah, he sacrifices his life, and they're in mourning, and Kenai decides to go after the bear, this time for revenge.
Yeah, completely abandoning the whole spirit animal thing that they have,
Yeah.
where he's supposed to represent love, but here now he's choosing revenge. And as he goes on that journey, his other brother pretty much does the same thing at first act, follows his younger brother because he's being stupid, and he meets up this bear at the top of a mountain and finally takes it out.
He's like, you know what you get when you take out my brother? You get what you fucking deserve.
You get what you fucking deserve. Pulls out a revolver, shoots the bear like point blank.
Uh, I just thought about that now. Like, oh my god. But yeah.
In front of a crowd of like animals. Again, it is very odd knowing the fact that this is probably me and Enzo's first exposure to Joaquin Phoenix, and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did not notice it until we watched Joker.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because we were way too young to watch Gladiator, and still too young when Science came out. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm trying to think like, what are the other movies he was in the early 2000s? I can't really remember.
I mean, he was in a lot. Can't really name on top of my head, but like he was in a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, and sad to say, he kills the bear and turns into a bear in the process,
yeah.
as somewhat of a curse from his brother to
That
learn
that,
his lesson.
that sequence in the soundtrack accompany, and I'm like, fuck, the soundtrack is a banger.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
I mean, they got Phil Collins to come back after Tarzan. And I'm like,
yeah,
that song was fire. That
yeah.
song was fire.
And it's an amazing sequence too, because what they're essentially describing is the Northern Lights.
Mm. Where the lights touch the mountain. Yeah, pretty much whatever magic that happens, there are spirits within those lights
Yeah,
that changes the landscape, which is a really cool concept to like touch upon. And yeah, his brother pretty much turns him into a bear. Uncalled for move, but okay, bro.
yeah,
But at the same time, Denahi finally reaches Kenai,
yeah.
but he sees a bear and Kenai's clothes. So he's putting two and two together and it's like, oh my god, I've lost another brother.
She ate him. How could she?
And I mean, they're hunting them, so
Yeah,
yeah. And of course, he's pretty much blinded with rage. He's out for revenge, and also a little bit of guilt because he did kind of drive Kenai to go after the bear
yeah,
twice. Instead of stopping him, he pretty much gaslit him the entire way. You're like,
yeah.
you're an idiot. You're well, not really gaslit, for more of like I don't know,
Forced to
instigated him.
sand.
Yeah, pretty much like kind of forced him to like do something about it. But Kenai does the wrong thing.
Yeah, and then he falls over, and he's woken up by the shaman, who's like, "Hey, guess what? This is ironic. You're a bear now."
Yeah. Uh, the voice of the shaman sounds very familiar. Where was she from?
I don't know. She's not known, but like she tells him, "Oh, well, if you want to change back, you have to go to the mountain where the northern lights touch the earth."
Hmm.
It's like, how do I do that? Why are the chipmunks talking? Why can I understand all the animals all of a sudden? Why does that movie sound like Rick Moranis? What is a Rick Moranis?
What is a Rick Moranis? SNL?
Yeah,
Yeah. But that was the funniest one. It's like the entire time I was rewatching this movie for this review, I was like, it was very familiar. Who are these two? And I looked up the IMDb. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? It was when Rick Moranis was still,
yeah,
doing acting and the voice acting.
yeah. Way before he retired. Uh,
Yeah.
but Kenai gets caught in a trap, and that's where we meet Coda. And for the longest time, I was like, Coda is so fucking annoying this part, but does grow on you.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
Voiced by Jeremy Suarez, and he was in a lot of like kids movies, like Proud Family. He also voiced acting in other things. I can't put my finger on what the show was, but he was in a lot of like animated series in Disney
Mm.
back.
All right. Yeah, and we learn from Coda that hey, I know where the mountain is that you're looking for, and Kina's like, oh really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I was like, oh, it's on the way to the Salmon Road, which I'm supposed to go with my mom, and but sadly we got lost on the way, so I guess I'll just meet her there.
Yeah.
Uh,
As a kid, were you like, that's a bit of a coincidence?
no, I
Or
was like, oh
you didn't put two and two together, like, oh shit.
no, I was the entire time I was like, oh, all right, probably still meet his mom back there.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let's go. When I'm a little bit older and I rewatched it again, I was like,
Right? There's like,
oh no.
oh fuck. Uh,
No, because remember that scene where sorry, we're jumping ahead. That scene where he pretty much tells him a story of like why his mom's not coming back.
yeah.
I never put two and two together. I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, damn, that's probably one sad story. I don't know what he's talking about. But yeah, they go on their way. No pun intended, because there's a song that comes out with that.
Yeah, and along the way they're being hunted by the Nahi, and the moose are like, "Can you help us, please? You can be our guardians because this is mad hunter." And
Yeah.
you're right. Phil Collins doing "On My Way" is a banger. Like, god damn, I forgot how good it is.
Man, just have Phil Collins in your like playlist. You'll always feel like you're off to an adventure.
Yeah,
Because you gotta love how they're like, Phil, we just need like a simple song. It's just about two brothers who are bears, and it's like, I got you, piano on fire.
yeah. Like I do love the mammoth sequence too, where Koda's like, Kina's like, I have an idea how to get there faster, and like
Yeah.
it's a cool sequence. And again, as a kid, as a kid, I was disappointed because I was like, it's only a mammoth. I wanted more. It's the Ice Age, for God's sake. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, no, stupid. It's about the brothers.
Right. I mean, back in the day, we didn't really care about Alan Grant and Jeff Goldblum's
Yeah,
character. We just wanted to see the T Rex like break shit.
yeah, yeah. But now we're like,
But
oh, okay.
yeah, now we get it.
Yeah,
But yeah, this is a beautiful scene. And they showed us more of the landscape. They still stick to the theme of like using watercolor for majority of their landscapes,
yeah.
and it's so beautiful. Also, very untouched old America, which is very nice until it was occupied. Um,
I mean, that's only like 1,000 years away, so we don't have to worry about that now.
yeah, just yet. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they get off, and is this the word they separate or have their argument? Because Keenan is like, you're so annoying. God.
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, where you were like, "Oh, you got us lost." So I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what do you mean I got us lost? It was your fault that we were on the Mammoth."
Yeah,
Blah
yeah.
blah 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 blah. Yeah. And what else did they run into here?
They run into the, what do you call those? Rams?
Ah, yeah. That was
Hey,
a very
Tony!
short-lived bit. That was a very short-lived bit that I remembered till I was older,
And
where you were
Tony!
like,
Fuck you!
it's exactly that scene. What's your name?
Tony! Fuck you, Tony! Uh,
You know what I did last night? You better not bring my mother into this. That's so good. But yeah, it
um,
reminded me. Yeah, it reminded me of that meme. That was
yeah.
so good.
But they realize they're, no, before that, they're like, this is the way to the salmon run across a Mustafar. Like, really,
Cross
Coda?
Mustafa.
Really,
Yeah.
Coda?
That scene from Kong,
Yeah.
where all the soldiers died.
They're like, wow,
Uh,
wow, this land is really diverse and like biospheres.
yeah, and for sure, what was that, like Yellowstone or some shit? I don't know. I've never been to Yellowstone.
I don't know. We both have
I don't
never
think
been
I don't think
there.
a bear would have survived being in those.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, but yeah, and surprise, surprise, Denahi's there as well.
Yeah.
And this time you see Denahi with facial hair and like
Real intent
circles
to
around
kill.
his eyes. Yeah, he's pretty much on a John Wick
Yeah.
revenge quest. You can see like he's tirelessly. I can't speak. Uh, hunting down this bear because I get it. Bear pretty much took out two of your brothers already. Well, as you think that is the same bear.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
a strange thing. Like, that strange bear grew smaller. I'll kill you anyway.
I'll kill you.
Uh,
Yeah, and it was yeah. We get to see the scene where they jump the gorge. Denai comes after them as his last ditch effort to be like, "Oh, I think I can make it."
Yeah, yeah.
And Kenai tries to like rescue him, but sadly fails. He survives the fall. We'll see him later, and we get
Denies not like, what the fuck does that bear want from me? Oh, he's trying to
right.
help me.
He's pushing the log. That bastard.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and they get closer to the salmon run because Coda like finds out like, oh shit, I remember this place. We're actually very near. Um, but they do have a little bit of a dialogue between themselves where Kenai tried to explain in a very offensive way why bears are just violent and don't like they just attack unprecedented and shit, like
Yeah.
uncalled for.
Again, it's good. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I don't know if this was a message to anything, but I was like, that is very on the nose.
Now I'm like, oh, that could be a message for anything.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, whoa.
Like, why do these blah 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 are like this? Like, shut up, Grandpa.
Exactly. Why don't the Chinese use spoons and forks? I was like, okay, Grandma, let's sit down.
Time to sleep. Time to sleep.
If you get that reference, that's from Game Grumps. Sorry.
But yeah, they realize they're there because of the, what do you call them again? Seagulls.
Oh yeah, where they're like, oh, fish.
Yeah, yeah.
And this
Mine,
was a
mine,
very
mine, mine.
sweet. This was a very sweet scene.
Yeah,
Like, uh, Kenai gets exposed to this whole bunch of bears that's in this river. There is like a safe haven for them where endless amount of food, you can just relax. Probably it's a annual thing, I don't know. And they meet up, they tell stories, and we get this cool "We Are Family" song.
yeah, yeah. Though I like the scene
Not
where,
as great as Phil Collins. I think he was here, like he was there for a little part.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not
I like the scene where Keenan's just like, oh, bear? I'm surrounded by bears. Ah! We're like, you are a bear,
right.
idiot.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hey. They just think I'm weird now. And like Koda's like pretty much exposing him. It's like he doesn't hibernate, he doesn't sharpen his claws. And I'm like, stop talking.
The other person, I'm like, then how have you survived for this long?
Right? No, no, he's the Chad Bear of
Yeah.
the community. But yeah, it was a very cool. And yeah, as Enzo said, we meet Michael Clark Duncan here, who's the really big bear.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Man, I miss him.
Same here.
Yeah.
And then they tell stories. Well, one bear is extremely Russian. The other two,
I love the Russian bear where he was just like, and then he just starts laughing like, right, yeah.
like,
I love the
you
Russian bear.
American chick. All right then.
But yeah, and then it gets to Coda, the storytelling part,
Yeah.
where he starts to tell the story about how him and his mom, before they got separated, they were just out there fishing, and then this monster came, and then two more monster came, and then the glacier broke, and you're like, oh, this story sounds very familiar. And then that's when you're like,
Yeah, as a kid, I'm like, huh?
Kenai killed his mom. This is what I was talking about. How
Is it?
Disney makes like very uncommon choices for storytelling, where for kids, like this is for supposed to be a kids movie. Main character kills side character's mom, and they try to bond. How odd is that?
Like, it hits hard when the mom's like Coda. Like, oh god, she's trying to look for Coda.
All right, he's having flashbacks, and like he and I was kind of like still human form, and the mom wasn't like trying to hunt him down. He was actually just looking for her son, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god. And I was like, I was having an existential crisis when I was like rewatching this. I was like, how did I not pick this up?
And
I thought it
like,
was just a story about two bears being brothers.
Kenai has a panic attack and ultimately tells Coda like, had to say like, your mom's not coming back.
Yeah.
Though I don't
Again,
know
backed
how.
up with Phil Collins singing the world's saddest song.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I wish I explained how he explains it instead of just ending on like, your mom's not coming back, kid. Like, how does he ease him into this? Because he starts with like, I did a terrible thing. Like, did he tell Coda that he was a hunter as a human in real life?
Yeah, this is what I'm expecting that he told. But instead of a shit ton of exposition, they just give us a nice little montage of Kenai explaining to him the entire story before they met it. So,
Yeah, and Coda's just like,
oh. And like, how can you say that? And he runs away. I would say this scene kind of deserved a little bit more time, but it is an hour and 30 minutes. Coda, like, pretty much separates from Kenai, and they have their moment of like, I don't want to talk to you, there's conflict. And the two mooses come along, they argue, and they make up to each other later on, and then Coda kind of sees like, oh, even though you killed my mom, you're still my brother.
sure.
There's some Sasuke and Itachi shit right here.
To be
Sure,
fair, he's a kid. Maybe I'll just come back when he's a teen. He's like, you son of a bitch.
They have like this Mustafar fight scene
Yeah.
at a volcano.
Yeah. For now, since he's a kid, he's like, it's alright, like, kid, okay, fine.
I don't know. I really don't know, but I really wish they kind of like uh marinated in the thought a bit,
Yeah.
because this is such a big deal to a character where one of the main characters reveals that I have killed your mother or your parent or the person you love. You think that this little thing would like immediately forgive you for that? But it's a kids movie, so of course he does.
Yeah.
We move on, and for sure, Kenai thinks like, "Oh, I can't come back from that. He's not gonna forgive me. Might as well turn back into a human and just live my life."
Yeah.
Goes up the mountain, waits for Sitka to be like, "Hey, I'm here.
Ah,
Please change me back."
it's it, because he, oh fuck, it's the Vane.
It's like, "Oh my god, an eagle! Ah!" Yeah. Surprise, surprise! Again, it's Denahi.
Yeah.
Man likes coming out of the smoke a lot.
Yeah. They have this fight and they fall a bit, and then he's about to stab Kenai, but Koda saves him, and then
And you can see like Denahi with his like Sith eyes, the
yeah,
shadow around his like, his eyelashes now and shit. Or sorry, eyebrows.
yeah,
He's gone to the dark side.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and when you think it's all over, um Koda comes into the rescue at the last minute. And so does Sitka. Comes in, he's like, "Hey, you remember that bear you're trying to kill? It's your brother."
yeah.
I didn't expect this to happen, to be honest. I just wanted to teach him a lesson. I didn't think that you would come and kill him.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
though I'm like, where were you the 2 times he did try to kill me?
No, remember, when Denai, he was like lost and he was like, "Oh, the spear is broken. What do I do?" The eagle like leads him towards the mountain. I was like, "Oh, this son of a bitch."
Oh wow. Like, Sitka, what was your thought process at that moment exactly?
He slits the bear's throat, has a revenant moment.
Yeah.
Sitka's like, "Fuck!"
And now your brothers again. Oh fuck.
Damn it!
And and then it is touching because when he transforms to bear and Koda's, speaking bear, he's
No,
like,
yeah, no, he transforms back to a
yeah,
human.
human, and he sees Koda. He's like, he needs me.
Yeah. And Sitka
No.
comes back, by the way, and he's like, forced ghost.
Yeah. And Koda's mom's is like, that's the son of a bitch who killed me, son. Why are you bonding with him?
Be careful of him! At his quietest moments, when he feels safe, that's when you attack.
Son, he's racist towards bears, so go away.
Yeah, he said these weird things that or we just attack out of nowhere. How
Yeah.
crazy is that? When they're the ones who are attacking.
Yeah. Goes full, like, cancel Kenai, like, yes, mom.
Cancel Kenai. Well, I would say specious instead of racist.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's a touching moment where he even. I'm surprised Devon is like, sure, I won't. I've come this far. You can go back to being a bear.
Yeah, that was a very like. Again, problems were solved very quickly. This is probably one of my only gripes with this movie is that
Yeah.
a lot of problems were solved so quickly. He didn't even like bat an eye to the thought that he and I wanted to become a bear again because he has a new little brother who he needs to take care of because he's pretty much taking responsibility after killing his mom. Again, very adult theme. I respect the studio for that decision. But again, he's kind of like, yeah, go ahead. You kind of look better when you were a bear.
Yeah.
And I was like, really, you're not gonna be like, you sure about this? You're gonna not abandon, but like, you're gonna go to another family and leave this family behind because I don't know. For me, I feel like they should have marinated on that thought as well. And I feel like this movie should have been at least
A bit longer.
20 more minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Unlike when Kina's back to being a bear and he's playing around with his brother and Koda, he's not. There's no hesitation. Like, you were just about to kill me a while ago, but
Yeah, and Kodak's kind of like, Oh, like, are you okay? Hanging around with that guy?
Yeah. Like
The
I
guy
know he's
who,
brother, but Jesus.
for sure, he pretty much gave you, like, internal trauma.
Yeah.
But,
But
like, huh,
the movie ends with Kenai
years
finally
of
being
trauma, not
able.
internal.
Hmm?
Years of trauma, not internal. I don't know why he's internal. My bad.
But yeah, Kenai finally gets to put his handprint on the cave wall.
Which
Like
is like like a big step to manhood, or
yeah,
like it's an honor to finally put your hand in the.
yeah. Like I wonder if that Disney got that from like actual cave paintings. Like I guess people did this back in the day.
Hopefully, that's like the storytelling of like everybody who used to be in that tribe had to put their handprint on there to
Yeah.
show how big their community was.
Like
Who knows?
honestly, every time I see cave paintings, I'm like, it's interesting to see what our ancestors thought of the world back then. That's the only way they could really like express themselves.
Hmm. Yeah. My God, they draw really well.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I think we reached the end. But there's an after credit scene where
There was a shit ton of after credit scenes. It was kind of funny. They expanded on was this Rotten Tuck, like pretty much busting Kenai's balls. And it was like, all right.
yeah, I think my favorite
Uh,
one is Coda going in accordance to the wildlife protection programs. No animals or fish, and the fish is like in the back, like he's gonna kill me. We're like,
yeah,
that's funny,
the
but
fish is
fucked
like,
up.
fish is pretty much
Yeah,
screaming for help.
yeah,
And you're like, and then you hear get killed off screen, and
yeah.
Coda's like, I was like, what the fuck?
You hear the bear like the Zambala, you're like, holy shit.
Or like eat it. I don't
Yeah,
know. But you're kind of like, I didn't know that it existed
until
until you
now.
told me like yesterday. You're like, dude, did you know that there was an after credit scene in Brother Bear? I was like, what? No.
Yeah, that surprised me
Those
too.
who don't know, but yeah. But yeah, what would you rate this movie?
Honestly, I'd give it an 8. I really like the characters, the animation is gorgeous, and the soundtrack is on fire. It's like, again, the nitpicks I have is like, wow, Coda's really forgiving for someone who just killed his mom. Sure,
Mm.
for now, I'll allow it. It's not like there's a sequel where it's like an adult is like, you son of a bitch, you killed my mom.
Yeah, I would say like we should have gotten like a Fox and the Hound kind of ending
Yeah.
with this kind of theme.
Yeah, right?
Or like we go our separate ways. We don't see each other again.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And like, how does Coda like retell the story? Like, oh, it turns out the Keenan was the one who killed my mom. The best archer. Like, so now we're supposed to be cool with that?
Your mom was a close friend of mine. But yeah, I would say this would be a 7.5. Sorry if I'm a little bit lower. The entire movie was great. The story was great. The plot of it was great. How it was, where it was trying to go to, I would say was a good choice, and the choices that they made for the themes of this movie was like unheard of back in the day, or very like wow for a cartoon. This is so adult.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure, you could say that we had Akira back then, but again, this is meant for kids,
yeah. It's like
and they're supposed to show a lesson.
specifically for children.
Yeah, it like just that was the target audience. The gripes I will have though is that the ending was very like once they knew that they were getting to the third half of this movie, they were kind of like, okay, we gotta hurry up. Whatever problems they had with each other, we have to resolve it right here and there. And I would say it was a little too quick. I really wish that there was a little bit more, like 20 minutes, an extra 20 minutes to like resolve the problems, but it was done fairly quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it was a kind of an odd, bittersweet moment where Kenai kind of just chooses to be a bear instead of become a human, which is again a very odd choice, and I respect the studio for that. So it's a 7.5 out of 10. But yeah, we pretty much reached the end of the video. Did you guys like the movie? Did you not? Let us know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell icon to be notified for more content that's on the way. You could also find us at facebook.com/geeksanddegenerates. You could also find us at Discord under the same name. And if you don't like seeing our faces,
Speaking of which, this was actually a request by one of our members, so that's one of our channels in our Discord. So if you want to do more requests, if you want to have a specific movie, we'll find the perfect lineup for it. But yeah,
yeah,
that's why we're doing
yeah.
this one.
Yeah, just let us know which ones you guys want us to touch on.
Yeah.
And we'll probably consider it. So, yeah. And you could also find us at Spotify if you don't like seeing our beautiful faces. And you can find me at JomGOM on Instagram. It is my art account. How about you? Where can they find you individually?
Individually, Gandalf1995 on IG and Twitter.
And to all you geeks and degenerates out there, please stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and get vaccinated. And we'll see you guys next time. Ciao.